BXB. It's in the game!
Hey guys, it's me Ben, back with another of my off-the-cuff reviews, a few notes and lots of gameplay, and here we are looking at another Sniper Elite game. Actually, it's amazing to think, the first Sniper Elite game actually came out in 2005, that's 12 years ago, and across various platforms and different generations. I have played all the Sniper Elite games and the Zombie Army trilogy, which was a spin-off from those games focusing on zombies. But here we are talking about the Sniper Elite series, the main series, in which you play as Carl Fairburn, elite OSS agent, this time inserted into Italy. The game is set pretty much directly after the previous Sniper Elite game, which is available on Xbox One, and I also really recommend that game as well. It's lots of fun, and it's definitely in a similar vein to this one. This one, however, has got some distinct improvements. First of all, the game starts off with some fairly sort of simple tutorial stuff. It doesn't make you bog down on it too much. It takes you through the basic controls and gets you sniping quickly enough. It introduces you to the world, and it introduces you to the larger maps and things like that, so you can think about, you know, how to tackle every one of these very large maps, and then the fun really begins. Now, I really enjoy the Sniper Elite games, I'm not going to lie. I love the sense of the stealth, but also that great feeling that when things turn bad, when things go downhill, you can react and deal with them. Now, as a sniper, obviously you have a very powerful long-range weapon, and that's how you want to be dealing with most situations. But when things get bad, you can deal up close with SMGs, silenced pistols, grenades, and things like that. And that's the real fun of Sniper Elite 4. It's the fact that they give you these big open maps. There's around 8 to 10 of them in the core single player experience, and you're basically let loose to deal with the main objective however you want. And in addition to the main objective, you've got up to about half a dozen side objectives, and I always like playing through the maps, like taking off all the side objectives first before dealing with the main objective if that's possible. I really enjoy that sort of completionist thing, and what that means is in these maps, which are already much bigger than any seen in Sniper Elite 3, you can just really get lost in the intricacies of the Sniper Elite world. Now, a couple of things that Rebellion have done to really improve that overall experience and improve their gameplay is the AI is better than ever. You can really play around with the systems of the game. It's actually quite reminiscent of the recently released Hitman game, which is very much about breaking systems and breaking the AI, and that's kind of what this game is like. One simple example I remember doing in this game was, so I set up a tripwire, and I'm like, well, I want the enemies to walk through the tripwire, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a body nearby so the enemies see the body, and then they'll go to investigate it, and then they'll go through the tripwire. And then, you know, you can just start from there. You can go, oh, well, then they go through the tripwire, and that sets off, and that distracts another set of enemies who come closer, and then they walk past maybe some explosives, which I will trigger at long range with my sniper rifle. The core gameplay ideal of Sniper Elite hasn't really changed. The idea of trying to kill enemies, masking your shots with other sounds in the environment, taking out enemies in ways that they don't alert their friends. And that's where the real strength of the game is. I think it's fair to say the close combat has got better. It's probably the best it's ever been. But the real fun comes from sniping Nazis across the map at long, long ranges. And then the amazing kill cam happens, doesn't it? Where you get X-ray vision, where you can see skulls explode gloriously, where you can puncture organs inside the bodies, where you can shoot off Nazis' testicles. My God, that is satisfying. And there's a purity to this experience. The fact that this is set in World War II, there's a clarity to knowing who your enemies are. And there's no doubt in the fact that Nazis are your enemy. And you know, you're an OSS operative, you're the elite soldier sent in, usually behind enemy lines, usually by yourself, though you do get some support in this game. And you know, you deal with the threats as you see fit. There's a great feeling of empowerment in this. There's a great power fantasy in this. It's just so much fun to get lost in these levels. I would take over an hour in most of these levels, sometimes closer to 2, just finding all the collectibles and picking my targets and finding the best vantage points. And then you've got a binocular mechanic now where you can zoom in and tag the enemies like Far Cry or something like that, so you know where they are. And it gives you, what's so great about Sniper Elite 4 is it gives you all the tools to to have so much fun in this world. It looks great, it sounds great. The only downside, I guess, is that I would have wished a little bit more of a variety in the weapons so they'd feel differently. They've also changed a couple of things to do with like the loadouts in this game. I feel like they've locked a lot of stuff behind like an in-game currency, which you have to progressively get more of as you complete more missions. So you can't have as diverse a loadout, but it's okay because after you loot a couple of dead bodies, after you poke around in a few tents and stuff, you'll often find the things like the tripwires and the mines and even different guns and snipers in the map as you explore anyway. So even with a limited initial starting loadout, you can often really augment that quite quickly and quite easily. Now, in addition to the single player, there is basically a horde survival mode, which is a lot of fun in co-op with your friends. And then there's also adversarial multiplayer. The best bit about adversarial multiplayer is there's a take on the deathmatch. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's basically halfway through the map there's a line you can't cross. So it forces you to fight enemies at range, which is obviously the strength of Sniper Elite. So that often involves picking a hiding spot, waiting for your opportunities, waiting for your moments, and then, you know, quickly taking the shot, repositioning and trying to surprise the enemy. I mean, the multiplayer's fine. The survival mode's a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing that, actually. But I really love the single player in this game and how you can explore these maps and really get to know them. You know, really encourages replayability. There are different challenges for every map. There are different things. Again, a bit like Hitman, that you can, if you really want to master it, you know, you're going to be replaying these maps again and again and again as you get better weapons, as you get familiar with them. There'll be more intricacies, more little elements to discover as you go back again and again. So there's a lot more replayability here than the previous Sniper Elite. I think this is really the best package Rebellion has ever put together in the Sniper Elite series, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I recommend it very, very highly. If you're in the mood for a shooter that's a little bit different, that has all that suite of sort of shooter elements you'd expect, you know, the survival modes, the multiplayer modes, but the single player, I really enjoy it. It's, you know, you're fighting Nazis as a sniper. It's just damn satisfying. You know, in combination with that X-ray camera, you probably already know if this is your type of game at this point. You know, you've probably seen previous Sniper Elite games, and this is possibly the best one yet. So I definitely recommend this, and because of that, I give Sniper Elite 4 a very, very strong, well, there is no stronger, 5 out of 5.
BXB. It's in the game.